Nookie moved to sit on the floor with a skirt that was too short, legs wide, undies far too small, and bush completely visible.
I think you can do that and a whole lot more.
Oh my god.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. You can go ahead and look it up if you want, if you don't believe me or something. Today, we're jumping into r/LegbeardStories. We gotta continue that unfortunate Nookie saga. I've been stepping off it for just a minute, but we are whittling down to the final parts. That is right. I think this is now the 10-part left episode, part 23. I think there's 33 parts, if I'm recalling that correctly. If you missed any of the previous parts or simply don't remember because, hey, it was a long time ago. I honestly don't know if I remember a lot of stuff. The links, of course, are down in the description and also maybe in the comments if I remembered to do that. Although I must admit, I've been having a hard time remembering to do that. Definitely big shout out to Greenie, the OP, for making the most massive saga that we have seen on this channel, whether leg or neckbeard. So, I mean, I just got to give a big tip of my hat. Not a fedora, to be clear. And thank her so much for pouring out her heart and her soul. And I know some people are tired of the saga, but I guarantee you once it is all wrapped and done, we will be so glad that we all went through it together. And then once the compilation or compilations come, I guess we'll see how we can deal with that. Because I think YouTube has a 12-hour video cap, so it might be 2 or 3 12-hour videos, which is just insane. But I'm so looking forward to it. So yeah, let's hop into this one. We'll see what we got today, get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some of this LegbeardStories cringe. Unfortunate Nookie Part 23. The last party that Nookie ruined. Wasn't that like Woodstock in the 2000s or something? Fred Durst up there singing break stuff, and yeah, people started breaking stuff. Woodstock got a different vibe now that we're out of the 60s. Oh, I guess I'm already on a tangent. Hi guys. Hi, Greenie. The end is nigh. These are the final months. Oh my god. Not safe for work warnings, of course. Legbeards are gross, and this story is no exception. You have been warned. It gets ridiculously heavy in this saga sometimes, so feel free to nope out whenever you need to. No shame in that. I have heard that this saga is an unfortunate Nookie-centric one. The Naruto headband ones are really the harder ones for me to choke down. So you'll probably get some of that in part 24, but this one, it seems pretty Nookie focused, and as strange as it feels to say that I'm grateful for that, yeah, I'm pretty grateful for that. Are you new to this saga perhaps? I recommend checking out the Unfortunate Nookie playlist by ReddX. Here, it's a playlist now. Nintendo is for breakfast now.
Nintendo is for breakfast now.
Last part before this one was here. Next part is over here. Also, my buddy Brute has her own Nookie recollections, and that is over in Brute's post history. Definitely not as long as the 33-parter. I think it's only 6 or something. So we'll go ahead, we'll mix that in. We'll see where it fits once we're actually finished with Greenie's retelling. We, of course, have our cast. Unfortunate Nookie, the Legbeard. Always misunderstood. Woe is her! She just wants to help. Help you right out of your job. She doesn't want any attention or need the spotlight. But mysteriously, she's just always there, in the center of everything, without even meaning to. Woo! Nobody knows how or why it happens, but it just seems to happen endlessly. Quite a mystery. Greenie is ROP, of course. After 7 long years with these 2 beards, my patience is finally running out. Also, hey, dying on the inside. But you know, everything's fine. Please don't berate me or make it about you if I dare admit that I'm hurting. Please? Is that too much to ask? Oh, it requires you to acknowledge that you've made a mistake. Oh, it is way too much to ask. Okay, sorry, my bad. I will just hunker back down into my shell. And after 7 years, quite a thick shell she has made indeed. Luckily, it hasn't hampered her outlook on life so much. Still a lovely, wonderful person, creator of merch, patron, big supporter of this channel. We love Greenie around here. You can stop through the Discord, say hello to her if you would like. There is no Naruto headband this time around. Oh, we should all be so lucky. He is, like, around, but he doesn't really do anything noteworthy. Yeah, just slinking around being his normal beardy self. There's nothing that I would not expect from that lad. And I feel so blessed to get a break of at least a couple stories from him. Like I said, part 24, oh boy, I'm sure he's gonna come back in full force. We also got Fabulous Peacock and Vegan, friends to both Unfortunate Nookie and OP. Unfortunate Nookie hit on both of them and also got rejected by both of them. I mean, you can't blame either one of them. Nobody in their right mind wants a piece of Unfortunate Nookie, especially once they figure out what she's all about. She will drive you to the brink of insanity. Pilot is one of Naruto Headband's only friends. Pilot's girlfriend and Turtle are friends of OP that attended the Easter movie marathon, which I assume is the last party that Nookie ruined. That party that was mentioned in the title. What the hell's an Easter movie? I can't even think of one off the cuff, but okay. I guess we'll find out. We've also got Mimic, who is OP's friend with the same first name, shared a name, but otherwise they're basically yin and yang, complete opposites. They used to not be friends. I'm glad that they're mending their friendship. After 7 years, yeah, come on. You get over it after a certain point. Buddha is OP's online big brother. Beard on the outside, but pure gold on the inside. His worry for OP is obviously intensifying. But there's not a whole lot that he can do because it's mostly an online friendship. He does give pretty good advice, but other than that, yeah, you can't really fix OP's problems. It's all up to her, and luckily, we are getting to the penultimate moment where OP does grow a spine and decide to fix all her own problems. Oh god, I hope it's gonna be explosive. So, let's go! Yeah, I like that little Mario insertion. Where last we left off, Unfortunate Nookie demanded me to pay to fly Bear over because I've never done anything for her. And that was out of OP's inheritance from her mom dying. I'm so glad that OP said no. I swear, man, that would be like the worst monument to your mother ever. Instead, hold on to that money. Invest in yourself. Dump everything in Tendy coin. It's totally going to be the next huge thing. I said no, so she bought Bear tickets to fly over, which Bear couldn't even use because he wasn't consulted about the flight dates in advance. Oh, I love that. See, she is capable of making the money for herself. She just wants it from OP because that's free money. But once she finally puts her nose to the grindstone, makes the money, she doesn't even ask him about the flight dates. He just misses the flight because you guys don't know how to communicate. Why does this always happen to Nookie? She's cursed. She's a curse. She also started to dress like me and cut her hair like mine and lived with me. She sat between me and Mimic in our Japanese class and answered questions for me. She spoke for me in general, took my customers, which I made online, talked down about me to my friends online. Letting her do it seemed to bring her joy, so I don't know. Maybe I wasn't needed in my own life. Maybe I needed to leave my own life. Now is your moment, OP. Stand up, push back. Your life is worth living, goddammit, and it's sure as hell worth fighting for, so I want to see it. Come out swinging in this episode. Let's go! I've tried to talk about my feelings multiple times. Other times, less clearly than other times. OP says, I've attempted to withdraw from everyone, so no one would notice that I'm not doing well. Seeing you guys on Friday and again on Saturday was pretty hard because I had started to feel like I didn't belong. Like these weren't my friends. They were just people that I was bothering. Man, brains are cruel, aren't they? Unfortunately.
I almost thought you were angry at me on Saturday. You didn't seem like yourself.
OP, the only person I was angry at was at myself, which is totally unjustified, honestly. But that self-hatred has definitely creeped in and solidified into something horrible. The tipping point is coming. I guarantee it. Something has got to give here. As always, everything was about Unfortunately, and there was no possible way that I actually needed attention or had a true issue of my own. After all, this was the Nookie Show, where everything's always coming up Nookie.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
She never asked or tried to understand why I might be feeling like this. She just made it all about her, as she has been doing for 7 years, so I can't say I'm surprised by any of it. It was just another failure to communicate on my part. And I am really stamping down on how I tried to talk to both of them, because soon it'll be all gaslit and flip script like I never ever in any way, shape, or form even implied that I was not feeling well. And I definitely, certainly, 100% never asked them to stop fucking with me. I mean, OP definitely did voice her concerns in multiple parts, but the problem with beards is they don't hear so good unless you yell in their face. You gotta get like 100% aggro, and only then does the truth maybe perhaps start to slowly seep in. This is an excerpt from one of the many Skype chats back then. OP, feeling kind of crap, but I don't want to just sleep, so I'm doodling random gift art. Unfortunately.
I sorry that you feel bad.
Ugh, sorry.
God damn it.
My 3-year-old doesn't even say sorry. That's just too creepy from a grown-ass woman. Sends shivers right up my spine. OP, bops head. Unfortunately. I don't know what that emoji is. OP, it's not your fault, so don't apologize. Unfortunately.
But I want to help.
OP, well, saying sorry doesn't help. It just makes my head hurt more because I have to think of how to explain everything to you, like A, it's not your fault, and B, stop apologizing because A. Unfortunately.
Weird emoji again. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately.
Damn, I almost ate the whole bag of nuts. What?
No! No! Bad squirrel! Those are my nuts!
That's a non sequitur if I've ever heard one. Hey, I'm sorry you're feeling depressed, but I just ate this whole bag of nuts. Can we pause everything and talk about this bag of nuts I just ate? No, stop it. That is a prime example of how caring and kind and helpful Unfortunately was. She could have asked me what was up. She could have asked me what I'm drawing. She could have offered videos of puppies. She could have literally done anything else except just apologize for my hurt feelings that at the moment had nothing to do with her. But instead of doing any of those things, she decided to apologize and thereby made it all about herself. Yes, all about herself and her super important bag of nuts. Put your emotions on hold and let's talk about these nuts. I don't know why that kills me so hard. It works. Meanwhile, I could and still did talk to Buddha. Buddha and I communicated solely via text, and I had started to hit fuck it and finally started to open up about things that I had kept secret for years. I think I was starting to hit rock bottom and basically planned to die soon anyways, so who really gave a damn, right? I started to not care about what I said anymore. I stopped protecting the bearded. I'd take this and all the other sins that I apparently committed every day to the grave very soon, or so that was my headspace back then. And it is an ugly headspace to be in. I've definitely been there. But then it's kind of magical when you decide to say screw it and start talking about it. Things don't seem as bad. You get somebody else to offer you perspective, and you realize that, maybe there actually is a way out of this. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Sometimes it's always darkest before the dawn or something. Sometimes always. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Buddha did care, even if I didn't. Everything I said still came out through the unfortunate Nookie / Naruto headband filter of the right way of thinking, where I was a piece of crap and crazy and unbalanced and mean and a cruel person who just can't behave and was always in the wrong. And I wondered at him why I can't just behave in the ways that would make me loved. What's wrong with me? And let us not forget, this has been drilled in over the course of 7 years, so OP definitely 100% believes that. But now, with your involvement with the channel and the ReddX community, OP, I hope that you can see that you are loved, you are valued. You are an amazing person, and I am so freaking glad to have you in this community. Just as a one-on-one aside, I 100% mean it. Buddha, I've known you longer than they have, and this is what you're saying right now? That's not you. That's not ever been you, and that will never be you. I'm worried about you. Do you have anyone over there to, like, help you? Besides those two? I didn't know how to respond to that. It didn't compute with the right way of thinking. I was just in too deep. I denied that there was anything wrong with them and iterated as I was taught that I am the problem. I wouldn't get treated like this if I didn't constantly press the beard's buttons for kicks. At this point, I was trying to figure out, how do we fix me? Well, Buddha was aware and extremely concerned. He tried to get through to me and suggest that I'm not the problem here. But if I wasn't, then I couldn't fix that. So I couldn't accept what Buddha was saying because it felt like I would lose what little control I felt I had. God damn, dude. Brains are amazing things. They can do amazing stuff, but sometimes they can be really, really mean and tell you lies. Lies directly from your own head, which are the hardest ones to refute. I sincerely hope that everybody out there, when their brain says something ugly, will start to question it a little bit more. Sometimes my brain says, just don't bother making a video today. Everything you make is crap and nobody cares anyways. And then I step back and I'm like, is that really true? And the answer to that is no, of course it's not. There's thousands of views, hundreds of people in the comments. I love when I get nice, encouraging comments telling me that my brain is wrong. Honestly, there are days where that's all that's pushing me through. But in order to get to the point where I had a community that is able to help me push through, I had to push through myself for many days and say, that's not true. I believe in my content. I'm putting it out there, and damn what anybody else says, including my own brain. So that entire tangent, I suppose, to say, don't swallow down everything that your brain feeds you. Anyways, back to the story. In February, me and Naruto Headband took a trip to Japan. All on my dime, I might add. Jesus Christ. I'm sure that was a great time for him. Before we left, unfortunately, he had requests about what she wanted me to bring her from Japan. And so did a bunch of other people, and I told everyone no. God, I'm so proud of you, OP. Look at that splinter of a spine just growing into something great. That is just a beautiful thing to watch unfold. It is the beginnings of the end for these beards. OP says, last time I went, the list of stuff that everyone wanted me to bring back was huge. And looking for all that crap was really stressful. So this time I'm not taking any requests in order to save my nerves. However, when I run into stuff that I know someone would like, I'll pick it up and bring it back. I can promise that much. Unfortunately,
That just sounds like an excuse to not bring me anything. But fine, have it your way. And if bringing me one little doujinshi is too much to ask,
Mimic was also a bit sad that I wasn't taking requests and said if I happened to run into some overly long schoolgirl socks, then she would love that. Unfortunately, Nookie actually hung out with Mimic while I was away, and Nookie told Mimic that
She thought I was such a bitch and stuck up for not taking any requests for souvenirs.
unfortunately,
One day, let's me and you go to Japan and not bring Greenie anything.
yeah, one day, I'm sure it'll totally happen. Unfortunately, over here just dreaming big out of spite.
So pathetic.
In Tagalog, those return gifts are called pasalubong, and I basically get one every time that I leave my family, but I also don't take requests. I'm like, okay, we're gonna go somewhere, and then, mother-in-law or one of the kids says, oh, bring me pasalubong, and I'm like, okay, I got you. They're not like, bring me this specific thing, because that doesn't mean as much, right? If you don't tell me exactly what it is you want, that means I put some thought into the thing that I brought you. It means more. But of course, Nookie doesn't see it that way. And hey, we did a little bit of learning today, so that is your Tagalog word of the day, pasalubong. Say it with me. Mimic was shocked by this, but when unfortunate Nookie laughed at her own words, Mimic just kind of nervously chuckled along. Nookie talked me down and said her usual lies about how
I hurt her and betrayed her all the time. How cruel I was to her.
while also in an odd way letting Mimic know that I had allowed her to live with me, rent-free, 4 months, without expressing any sort of gratitude, like this was just a given. With all the knowledge that we have about Unfortunate Nookie, yes, of course she took it for granted. I don't think she has showed gratitude for a single thing that has happened throughout the series. She also told Mimic
How horrible of a friend I was.
Nookie also tried to get my measurements from Mimic while I was gone. She was still obsessed with not knowing how small I had gotten because I had stopped telling her, since Nookie always turned it into a competition. Mimic had adjusted some clothes for me in the past, so Nookie knew that Mimic had my measurements somewhere. However, Mimic never told her, but she told me that she literally hunted around Mimic's house in order to find this info, which pissed Mimic off because no one touches her stuff. More on that in the ballet beard one-off, I do suppose. I'm sure I've gone over and over it, but that is the thing that I hate the most about having people over, is them touching your stuff. Like, please, just, if you're gonna be here, can we just sit and I can watch the whole time? Even people going to the bathroom in my house, I get uneasy. I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're touching. Not that I'm, have anything to hide, but it just weirds me out a little bit. I want to put my stuff down and know exactly where it is all the time. Maybe I'm a control freak, but in a chaotic world such as this, sometimes knowing where my stuff is all I have. I also needed a stand-in for my other job while I was in Japan. I had been a tour guide in a reptile house for about 6 months. Bro, that sounds so sweet. I will stand in for you. Now, I had thought of employing Pilot, who owned a garter snake and had some downtime, but Nookie begged me for it. She promised to do her best because
My job was the coolest.
it also is probably part of her grand plan to become you and take over your life. Definitely not. I don't think owning a garter snake means that you can run a reptile house, but Nookie has no experience whatsoever. We learned way back in part, 4 or 5, how terrible Nookie is with animals. Ugh, those poor reptiles. Please don't tell me you gave it to her, OP. And I figured, well, she seems excited. OP! OP! Tell me you didn't give it to her! And it's only like 3 weeks and only 2 or 3 shifts, and it is a pretty easy job. Oh no, you did give it to her, didn't ya? I can't understand the logic here. Please, no more. Lizards are people too. I mean, lizards are lizards, but you know what I'm talking about. So to teach her, she just followed me around as I guided groups of kids around the reptile house, explaining facts and funny stories about our resident reptiles. She was given crystal clear instructions to just keep quiet and tag along, to say nothing and just listen and learn. And obviously, of course, knowing Unfortunate Nookie, she did not do any of that stuff at all. She would correct me in front of groups of kids. This is the point where you pull the plug. You'd be like, you know what? You don't want this job that bad. I got a better idea. How about instead of ruining my job prospects while I'm away, you just sit on my couch and eat my chips and play with your fucking butthole. As you do. I don't know why you would let her get past this point. Often she would correct me loudly, sometimes without even letting me finish and just saying exactly what I was going to say, but beating me to it. Nookie would listen to the first time I said it and then interrupt me to tell the kids what she had just learned from listening to me on top of me before I had the chance to give these kids the same information that I had just told the previous group of kids. OP would say, so these guys are usually awake at night, and Unfortunate Nookie would jump in saying,
Actually, they're nocturnal.
which is exactly the same thing. You just get to feel like a big brainy because you said a word with 3 syllables. Good for you. I'm shocked that you actually learned a thing. This goes against all the previous beard research. We're gonna have to look at our notes on this. When my bosses asked me how the teaching went, she again squealed on top of me without letting me reply about
How much she loved this place, and how much she loved snakes, and how she's such a fast learner.
yeah, how about we wait to hear it from the person who's actually doing the teaching? Although I know OP probably would have let herself get cowed and just been like, yeah, she did all right. I guess, whatever. Am I still gonna have a job when I come back? Please tell me I'm still gonna have this job. I tried to tell Unfortunate Nookie that she shouldn't have corrected me in front of the customers or spoke over the top of me to the bosses. This is another Skype excerpt again. OP, you'd point out mistakes I make to owners and customers, and if I said that I had fun, you'd make it very clear that you loved it more, making my capability and interest in the matter seem less than yours by comparison. Basically, you try to best me in everything instead of us working together as, I don't know, a team. Unfortunate Nookie.
I don't recall pointing out mistakes, aside from correcting when you say something.
Yeah, that's that is I don't know what to, I don't have the words.
After which you scold me for disturbing.
It's just not sinking in, is it? Pointing out mistakes, yes. Correcting me when you say something, yes. It's the same thing. It's the same goddamn thing. OP points this out. Yeah, correcting and pointing out mistakes is pretty much the same thing. You don't have to correct anything if the other one hasn't done anything that needs to be corrected. You weren't supposed to say anything at all, and it just gives a bad impression of me if you start correcting me mid-tour when you were supposed to just observe and make sure that the group stays together. Unfortunate Nookie.
I'm sorry for thinking that answering a question when you're busy would be helpful. I'm just gonna keep my stupid goddamn mouth shut forever.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold you to that. If only it wouldn't be much of a story. And of course, when OP came back from Japan, Unfortunate Nookie was talking some garbage about
Splitting the shifts.
No, I think you vastly misunderstood what your role here was. OP, I come back and you're talking about splitting the hours? Unfortunate Nookie.
I was making that comment in jest. I'm trying to please you, but nothing is ever fucking good enough.
OP, I'm not attacking. I'm trying to get you to explain what it is that I saw. Unfortunate Nookie.
Yes, I'm somewhat envious that you have an awesome job, and I've enjoyed what little I've have of it. Why is that wrong? You're the one with the contract here. I'm not trying to take that away from you.
Yeah, but you kind of are, though. Things said in jest generally have a kernel of truth behind them, don't they?
Why do you keep assuming the worst of me? I'm not trying to take your job even if I do like it there. There's no way I could even if I wanted to.
Believe me, she's done the research.
I'll just kill myself so you don't have to see such a piece of shit anymore if all I ever do is hurt you, when all I'm trying to do is help you. Oh.
Do you think that maybe, possibly, Pilot would have been the less dramatic choice? It would have been like, yeah, welcome back. Okay, here's your next shift. I'm done. But unfortunately, just ever scheming. How did you not see this one coming down the pipe, OP? Come on now. In the end, I was never formally fired, but unfortunately did take my job at the reptile house. Yeah, what? She got all the shifts. As far as I know, she might be working there to this day. But this would become apparent only after we stopped being friends. Nookie would brag to Peacock about
how much better at this job she was than I was.
the reason I was no longer given shifts wasn't skill related, but okay, I guess that's another story. How is any of this even possible? You just kind of rolled over and let it happen, like, okay, she took all my shifts, I guess I don't work there anymore. No, approach the bosses. Say, you have a contract with me, and it will be fulfilled. If you'd like to switch at the end of the contract, then you let me know. No more noodle spine, OP. That's not what I'm here for. I gotta see some vengeance quite shortly. Japan with Naruto headband was, of course, terrible, as you can imagine, from how the trip to China went. He himself recalls it as being this amazing, best thing ever type of deal because, yeah, of course he does. An all expenses paid trip to Tokyo, I guess what's not to like about that? All I remember is self-harm and anxiety over him taking everything that he was unhappy about during that trip out on me, which was basically everything, all the time. And that's when you say, shut up, bitch, I'm paying for everything. How about you feel lucky that you get to go along for the ride? I don't have to sit here and explain anything to you. You didn't like the tea house? Okay, too bad. You didn't spend a penny on it, so you don't have a right to complain. I don't know, I guess I just prickle a lot more and a lot easier than OP does. When I came back from Japan with an entire bag full of souvenirs for Unfortunate Nookie, she was hysterical, just screaming and giggling and squealing and even crying. I'm convinced that it was guilt-fueled, overacted, faking gratitude since she had been so crappy to me when I told her that I'm not taking any souvenir orders. And while I was away, she hung out a lot with Mimic. She didn't know that Mimic would tattle on her, but I do bet that she knew how she herself had acted. Like, yeah, every reaction was just too way over the top joy. I'm still at a loss as to why you brought her back anything at all. You should have just brought her back an avocado. An avocado. Thanks.
Avocado! Thanks!
After Japan, I finally got Unfortunate Nookie to leave our apartment. Dear Jesus, it's a miracle. Much like with this ridiculously long saga, she had worn out her welcome. I started a conversation with her in March where I tried to tell her everything that bothered me about her behavior. In essence, that I felt like she's taking over my life and competing with me, and it is literally killing me. I asked her to please just at least try to stop it. Yeah, try. I don't use absolutes with Nookie because she would just completely lose her crap if you told her to stop, or pointing out mistakes is the same as correcting. I always had to sugarcoat everything to her, lest she OD'd on us again. It feels to me like absolutes are the only thing that do work. You need to give her some of that tough love. Okay, she decides to hang herself from a doorknob or whatever. That's about the point where I check out, much like Vegan did. Tough love is all I got to give, and if that ain't fixing you, then okay, I guess it's not within my capacity to help you. I'm not a freaking mental health professional anyways, alright? Friendships are supposed to be a two-way street, a little bit of give and take, you know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, only knows take. And the fact that it's gone on for 7 years is just astonishing to me. Even as far as we are into the saga, I have a hard time wrapping my head around it. Unfortunately, refused to ever acknowledge that she had done anything wrong because, of course, she only had good intentions behind everything. Or she complained that I misunderstood her, or that she was only joking. Like with the line of not bringing me anything if she ever goes to Japan. Brick wall. Just zero self-awareness or reflection. And I hope that that changes at some point, but I mean, at this point in the saga, Nookie's already old as hell, right? I don't know how you get this turned around, but the truth is it's not my job to get it turned around. After a certain point, it is 100% on her. Do you want to get better or not? Clearly she doesn't, and I can't have that much sympathy for somebody who just relentlessly hurts themselves on purpose. Indeed, all Unfortunate Nookie did was give excuses to absolutely everything, from Mimic lying about her to me painting her out as some kind of monster for no reason at all. This was supposed to be a quick, oh hey, by the way, please don't type of mention on my part, but instead she dragged it out into an argument spanning several hours and even a few days, with multiple suicide threats and spamming snippets of our conversations to outsiders in order to prove that I was being the jerk here. In the end, since I made literally no progress with her, I accepted the blame and responsibility, like always, for her treating me like crap, because it was either that or her death. Plus, I was just tired, and I wanted her to drop it. Honestly, OP, letting her have her way doesn't seem to be working. What if you just woke up one day and chose violence, right? Beat the crap out of her. Make her stop, if anything. It's either going to end the friendship completely or fix it in ways that you couldn't quite predict. Either way, I think that that's a happy ending. But yeah, since now we were, good, quote unquote, and don't have any problems anymore whatsoever, she comes to this party that I'm throwing. It's a movie marathon during Easter that I arranged at my place. I invited Fabulous Peacock, Turtle, Mimic, Vegan, Pilot's Girlfriend, and Unfortunate Nookie. Naruto Headband had been banished back at home for Girls' Night. I'm surprised he went along with that one, honestly. I made a carrot cake and some donuts for the party, and a buttload of popcorn and some other snacks, and we even made our own sushi. Hell yeah, Easter sushi. Seems a bit strange, but I'm into it. Nookie had to comment on how
Terrible my carrot cake looked, and how off it tasted.
It didn't look or taste awful. It was freaking delicious. And here is a picture of the carrot cake if you are interested in it. Kinda goopy on the outside, but it's the cake on the inside that counts. We don't have a t-shirt for that yet. Maybe someday. She also commented on how crappy our sushi looked, and how
She couldn't understand how we could all eat so much. She would never eat that much. Calories are the devil. Yada yada yada, etc. without end.
yeah, remember the hair devil from the last episode? This is his brother, the carrot cake devil. Yeah, she was just such fun company, but I didn't dare throw her out. And she didn't have the social acumen to realize that no one wanted her there in order to just endlessly insult us. You don't want to pig out? That's fine, but don't judge me for pigging out. There are days that I want to feel like a fat kid, so what? Just get the claws out and tell her, yeah, you're right. Your figure can use all the help that it could get, or something like that. Then she'll cry and go home and leave, and everybody could be happy, right? When we put on the first movie, Unfortunate Nookie, for some freaking reason, came over to sit in my lap. Ugh. Totally uninvited and jiggling herself on my thigh like she was a cat settling in. Ugh. No, thank you. She pouted when I asked her to get off my lap, as you should, because Nookie was smelly. And I didn't appreciate her sweaty butt on my thighs, and I wanted her to stay physically as far away from me as possible after our argument where she had yet again bullied me into accepting that I was the asshole. Yes, she repulsed me. Nookie moved to sit on the floor with a skirt that was too short, legs wide, undies far too small, and bush completely visible.
I think you can do that and a whole lot more.
Oh my God.
I'm having a flashback again. Didn't we hear about this in the previous part as well? Why is this her go-to move? I don't understand what the point is. She heard about Sharon Stone and Basic Instinct and she's like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But you're not Sharon Stone, you're a filthy legbeard. Honestly, it wasn't even that great when Sharon Stone did it. I asked her to cover up. Pouting, she refused to change her pose and ate all of our popcorn all by her lonesome. And I mean all of it. This popcorn was meant for the 7 of us. It was a literal shit ton of popcorn.
I can't understand how you can all eat so much. Oh my God, the calories in that.
And then proceeds to chow down triple the daily recommendation of calories in a single sitting. No, but see, it's popcorn. It's low in calories, OP. Yeah, I did put butter and salt and all this on it, but my diet app says that plain popcorn is completely fine, even if you want to eat a literal dumpster full of it. After a certain point, doesn't it just taste like nothing? Doesn't the repeated popcorn taste get to you? I guess it's just unfortunate Nookie trying to fill the hole in her heart with popcorn. I will say though, at least the popcorn bowl did what her skirt and undies failed to do, which was cover up the dark bush that lie underneath. Thank you for your sacrifice, popcorn bowl. We'll never forget you. Yeah, we didn't even wash the popcorn bowl. We just threw it in the trash. Every time we see it, we're just reminded. And then, of course, really theatrically, Nookie put a hand to her mouth, saying,
Ugh, I don't feel so good.
yeah, stupid, you just ate a dumpster full of popcorn. She went to the bathroom and stayed there for like an hour, pretending to vomit. And during that, we had a relatively peaceful hour of movie watching. The noises from the bathroom were extremely fake and loud, like she was making them not from the toilet, but from the door, to make sure that everyone heard her. When she was done, her breath smelled its usual, there's food bits between my teeth that could have been here since 1999, bad. And not the stomach acid from recently vomiting kind of bad. Which are both bad, but one is slightly worse than the other, I guess. She was 100% waiting for somebody to come into the bathroom and check on her. But the truth is, nobody cares at this point. You have outstayed your welcome. If you're sick after eating the popcorn that was meant for everybody, guess what? You deserve it. I hope you do throw up. I knew she didn't throw up because she came to claw my shoulder to ask for something. Because, you know, there was always more that I should be giving her. And I caught that familiar, disgusting whiff. God, she's so foul, bro. I wonder what she asked OP for. She's like, hey, could you make some more popcorn? Just breathing as much as possible while talking. Does she know her breath is bad? Somebody should have that conversation with her, honestly. When Naruto Headband's mom finally brought him back home at the end of the party, and she asked how I'm doing, I excitedly told her about a book on dogs that she had given me and what I had learned about the origin of dogs. Did you know that Chow Chows are genetically closer to a wolf than a husky? I thought that was super interesting, and then unfortunate Nookie bursts into the conversation with an actually. Nobody cares. I'm just trying to make pleasant conversation. So yes, she completely hijacked the conversation that I was attempting to have with Naruto Headband's mom. Spoke on top of me in ways that I never got to start or put a line in anywhere, and if I did manage to, she would just negate everything that I said, as she is now the
superior dog knowledge, person.
Yeah, that's what you call them. Dog knowledge people. She also just blathered on about not like any dog facts, but about a neighbor that she used to have who thought that she knew everything that there is to know about Samoyeds, yet in Nookie's opinion, her dogs seem both physically and mentally ill. She, on the other hand, having owned a husky / Samoyed mix herself for like a year and a half, knew all there was to know about the breed, obviously. And it was just never ending and derailing even further. Yeah, I think we do recall that husky dog that never got to go outside, that spent its life locked in a bathroom for at least 6 months. And then, of course, when it got out of the bathroom, it acted like a freaking maniac. And Nookie's like, I don't understand why. Because it's an active breed, you idiot. Get off your fat, stupid ass and take it for a walk, how about? I did a rare butting in. Nookie, I was talking to Naruto Headband's mom. Could you please let me tell her what I wanted to tell her? Unfortunate Nookie looked aghast.
Oh, fine. I can see where I'm not wanted. I was leaving anyways.
Obviously, you cannot see where you are not wanted because it requires somebody interrupting you to tell you that you're not wanted. Really, nobody wants you here. Why don't you go live on the moon or something like that? At least there's no air and space to carry around her foul breath smell. She'll be stuck inside a space helmet, having to breathe her own stench. And I think that's the fate that she really deserves. I was just so tired of Unfortunate Nookie. Yeah, sure, the party's ending anyways. Here, let me help you put your coat on. As I turned to face her with her coat, she jumped away from me as if I was some kind of monster, and as if I was about to hit her again. Again, I unfortunately never have. And again, I gotta say, I think that would have fixed a lot of things in this relationship dynamic. Sometimes friends do need to punch each other, and it will either break the friendship or make it stronger than ever. Unfortunately, Nookie jumped straight into Vegan, who was of course extremely confused. In fact, everyone was confused at this newly created Nookie Show special. It was just such an extreme negative reaction to me politely offering her her coat. And it looked fake as hell too, of course. When I tried to approach her again, she jumped back even further, eyes wide like she had seen the devil. I had not been rude or violent to her during this movie party. I hadn't even been abusive even when she lived with me, though I said many really inconvenient no's to her, which in her mind is probably just as bad. What and why the fuck I again, as with many of these Nookieisms, I just couldn't tell you. All right, the third time you try, I want you to come at her really fast, wrap the arm of the jacket around her neck, and just drag her out of the house and throw her in the street. There you go. Problem solved. I think she wants to stay in your house for a few more months. Would you let that happen? How am I supposed to 100% become you if I'm not living in your house, right? I sighed and just put her coat on the floor and backed up so she could pick it up and put it on herself. That is so gloriously awkward. She did and walked slowly towards the door, expecting something, who knows what, looking at me now with sad puppy dog ooh-woo eyes. Yep, right after that show of me being the devil, now she was begging for attention with her eyes, hoping that someone would ask her to stay just a little while longer because she's just so darn neato. Because wowee, I defo want to be empathetic and enthusiastic about someone who just treated me like I'm abusive for no reason whatsoever. Oh, and also insulted my food. Oh, and also insulted what and how everyone eats and their sushi making skills. Please, do stay to make me out as even more of a monster and one-up all the guests even more. This is so much fun, and you are just so cool, Unfortunate Nookie. Ugh. Goodbye and good riddance. When everyone just said bye-bye to her cheerily, she started to cry and slammed the door as she ran out. What a mess. And any ounce of sympathy that I might have once upon a time had for her, after 23 parts has completely evaporated. Yes, good. Get out. Nobody wanted you here in the first place. For the love of all that is holy, get your shit together before you even think about coming back. Everyone just kind of shared a collective look of, what the hell? But no one ran after her that time. All that was over. The next part is the yeeting finally begins. Oh, I'm so hungry for it. Remember, laughter is the music of the soul. If you can laugh at it, then you can get over it. Also, aim to shower daily, cause it's good for you. Greenie, out. I mean, the party honestly was awkward as hell, but the reptile house thing is what really sticks with me from this particular entry. I'm like, how did you let this woman take your job? By hook or by crook? She's just like, give me a couple shifts, and now give me all the shifts. And OP's just like, kinda okay with it for some reason. Bruh, I would be in there in a heartbeat. I will talk to the manager. I will flip a table if I have to. This is my job. You cannot have it. But indeed, it is just that sense of entitlement that we've come to know so very well from all the neckbeards that we've had on this channel. And that was even showcased at the end of the party where she's, you know, puppy dog eyes for everybody. Like, please, can I stay? No, get the hell out. It's over. And even if it wasn't over, it's over for you. Nobody wants you here anymore. Thank God the yeeting begins next episode. I'm so hungry for some of that good old street justice. So I hope you guys will stick around. Join me when it drops. And as far as this episode goes, I do hope that you've enjoyed it. If you did, I hope that you'll like, comment, and or subscribe. Super big brain play to share the video around as well. Make your grandma cringe or something. Put it on your Facebook. Unless your grandma has osteoporosis, then probably don't make her cringe too much. We've got lighter sagas if you want. We've also got links down in the description, of course. Playlists, plugs, podcasts. I'm basically everywhere. Come and check me out. We've also got my social medias, Twitter, Discord, Facebook. That's where I'm hanging out most of the time. Can't forget about my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons over on Patreon. Thank you to each and every one of them as well. I would, of course, like to thank them very much as I do every video, so thank you! Robert Waits, Camille Sarah, Logan Wolf, Conrad Ingy, Captain Clown, Jerry Hong Kong, Aaron W, Twisted Child, Sarah Water Wash, Cinnamon Susie, For Old Lang Syne, Fire Drake, Irary wants to change the name but is too proud of the Jerry spelling. Give us some suggestions in the comments if you would. Jari the Pirate, yar! Silent Revolver, the original Jerry, Jerry Kitsune, Satori, 211 Jerry, The Return of Jerry, a jury of jubilantly juggling Jerrys, a Justy Jargonian Jerry. What if it was all J names from now on? Oh boy, that's the longest tongue twist you ever seen. Alunia Demonista, Althea Blue, Anunnaki, Assassin Pug Jerry, Bang Bang, Atheist Jerry, he's so euphoric, Aurora Wildheart, Bailey Joy, Bearded Jerry, watch out for that guy, Bitch Gremlin, Blade the Hero, Blip Bloop Jerry, Commander J Tank, Confederate Jew. I don't know why that gets me. Dayton Can't. Bro, why you gotta throw me $5 a month just to make me sad? You know, I'm not just a clown up here. I got feelings too, all right? Dennis Dayton, Dinosaur Nightlight, Disposable Waifu, Dr. Larks, Emergent Jewel, Aaron Lennox, Fell Down This Pipe Run. running from a walking mushroom thing with eyes. I ended up in an attic. It smelled like marbles in here. It was Mr. J. Smells like marbles. Frozen Over Studios, Gypsy, Adrian BR. I can't help falling in love with Jerry. Jerry. I'm Slim Jerry. Yes, I'm the real Jerry. Oh, you want the Slim Jerrys are just imitating. Soon I'm gonna have to sing the whole patron list. Irish Pirate, top of the barn into ya. Itchy Nuts, just scratch him, bro. Up him, MJ Crisp. Yes, you have to say the whole thing. JM Kuhn, Jennifer Schaefer, Jerry Smith Barber to Services. I still don't know what that means. Jerry Blacktail, Jerry Nice, Jerry Evil, Jerry the Outlaw Mother Trucker, Hong Kong. Jerry was a race car driver, but my super's in the shop, so he stays undefeated. That's all right. I know you get back on the road real soon. John Hero, John Jerry Jingleheimer Schmidt. Oh my God, that's actually my name too. Not a lot of people know that. Simboofa, because if you're boofing, it's free. Judge Jerry, I am the beard. KJW, Kajow, Crewhee, Miss Monday, Lord Jerryo, Lady Dix, who is still a Jerry, just a boring one. Marble Cake Jerry, Melgar the Destroyer, Metal Vector, definitely not Arthur Henry. I'd never heard of that guy. Mr. Carrot 797, Mikola Demikiev, aka Vegan Jerry, Natari, Nightmare Jerry, Origami Jerry Steve, Patron Saint of Chicken Nuggies, Saint Jerry, Phantom of the Pines, Jerry Kinson, Jerry Beth, Ramtide Lacrimates, Rose Jerry Miller, TSM Kirby, Sarita the Lolita, Saucy Octopus, Silo Imp, slipped on a marble and into the neckbeard world. Welcome to my world. Staples, aka Jerry Eats, Stephanie Goodner, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tomago, Teddy the Police, 10-Ton Monster, The One True Fusky, Tom, oh, but it's the Jerry on the inside that counts, Church, Viking Jerry, WikiTac, hey, welcome to the fold, friend, Will Mags, Comrade Mooney, Kira, you're a wizard, Jerry, Redwind, Naga Viper, Side Jerry the Cyborg, Saint's Blessing, a normal Jerry, Yam, Jam, you know I worship typos, God of misspelling. I understood what you meant. That's the magic of it. Hunter of Jerry's, Devourer of all things tasty. It is Tom, because Tom and Jerry never get along. Admiral T, Tank, Emerald Alder, an unfortunate Nookie survivor. Yeah, we know her. That's Greenie. Atomic Jerry Zilla, Breaker of the Tom Army, AZ, Babsy Coon, Barbushka's a Radiator Jam, Bartender Kelia, Blue Dubs, Broken Spine Horseradish, the original different Jerry, This Cake Jerry, California Jerry Girl, Chevron 7 Locked, Corporal Admiral Princess Furry Warrior Woo Jerry, Crib Titties, Defon Jerry, Dopamine Dangerous, because we're gonna OD, Electrical Fennec, I gave her both inches. And then she asked if I had any single friends. Yeah, I got friends in the single digits, if that's what you're talking about. Ghost of Alpha, Heeknot, HFT Mayor, Holy Berry Jerry, Hydra Jerry Solmans, yeah, carrying on the legacy, Janitor Jerry, where do all these marbles keep coming from? It's a conspiracy. Jeffrey, Geralt of Rivia, Jerry and Tom versus Happy New Year's Webby Apocalypse, Jerry the Sussy Baka, Jerry's mom has got it going on, Jerry Aldo Rivera, Jerry Bean, Jerry Roxers, Jerry's SDI pit maneuver the bear to save the marbles. Oh, that's where they came from. Jerry role-playing game featuring the obligatory furry player character, Freddy Fazbear. Oh no! I'm exiting this game post-haste. Judge Jerry and Executioner, Kid Marvelous, King Tom, Smasher of Jerry Zillas, Kitzikin, Life of a Guardian, Little Anwoods, Lucian Lovecraft, Machia, CD. Maybe next time, Milkfed, give Miss Duchess, not Invisible Angel. I see you. One leg Jerry wants to be a pirate. Oh, join the crew, me hearty. Or get me Cam. Ghosty, Raptor Art. She's my Jerry Pie. Go drink a Mountain Dew. What a big surprise. Cringe so good, make a grown man cry. Sweet Jerry Pie. Sheep Jerry, Snom Jerry, that's Snary, if you didn't know. Spoonie the Rogue, Spoopy Scary Jerry Ton, Techno Dubs, the Gaslighting Jerry. Hey, help me, I'm the real Red. Terry stole my channel. You didn't know what to do with it anyways, I got this. The Necro Jerry Con, the original Jerry, not. To Infinite Jerry and beyond, definitely. Tuna Fish Jerry managed to escape from Admiral Tom's Tuna Cannery. Keep running. Tom promised Jerry swears. Oh, no bad Jerry's. Tom, be a good boy. Just fact, no Swiss. This place nice. Go look it up. I mean, Redbeard story, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. And also, thank you to my $1 patrons. Oh my goodness. Whoo, those Patreons. They just make me so happy. Thank you guys, as always, for supporting the channel in the way that you do. If you'd like to join the Patreon, that is highly encouraged. I would definitely appreciate it. But if you can't do it right now, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like watching some more ReddX videos. Thanks in advance. And of course, always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, oh so worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one, and until then, bye-bye.